Wheels Global Foundation, some of you are hearing for the first time, so I will briefly introduce what Wheels is about, but also use this opportunity to share a lot of updates. Our goal for this event is to do this as a quarterly activity, so we can share a lot of things happening, and as you will see today, I mean, the activities in Wheels is really picking up, and this collective platform of our alumni community is now truly delivering on its expectations, and we'll talk about some of those examples. Along with that, we have the privilege today of Dr. Sarika Kulkarni, one of Wheels partners, RaahFoundation, R-A-A-H, Raah, the Hindi word Raah. Rasta. And RaahFoundation has been doing phenomenal work. We will hear that inspiring work and journey of Sarika and her husband Girish Kulkarni, who happens to be also IIT Bombay alumni. So you will hear that story. Because many of these initiatives really come alive when you hear that story from the ground. And so we'll have that opportunity today. Approximately the format we are going to follow, I'll speak for about 20-25 minutes. I'll share both the updates, Wheels overview as well as the updates. And then Sarika will share Raah story. And then we will have time for Q&A. And hopefully then after that, we have some refreshments, so we'll have a chance to further socialize. Before I do that, if I may request, because I think I know most of you, but still it's a privilege to see some new faces, so it's really always a pleasure to have new members coming for this conversation. Would request everybody to take a minute or two to briefly introduce for the sake of time limitation. So you'll have each person say their name, their professional activity, and which IIT, and if not an IIT, which undergraduate or postgraduate school they are from. And then if they are involved in any impact activity, social impact activity, briefly. So we'll do that. I would request to start in the corner.
Well, I'm Sushil Bhatia, IIT Bombay, okay, and I'm kind of full-time volunteer in Wheels. I can say full-time, right?
Whichever, full-time or part-time, you are part of Wheels.
This is my heart and soul. I'm dedicating my time over here. Okay, so I also organize meetings. I want more interaction between people so we can do more and more things. Individually, we can do only so much. It's only when we get together in groups, we exchange ideas, that ideas begin to bloom, and we can take bigger and bigger projects. So any other idea you have, feel free to call me, suggest me. I'm always looking for new things to do.
And IIT Bombay, 1960?
1966.
1966.
Probably the senior most here.
Sushil is the prime example. The age doesn't matter. I mean, I think we hold Sushil as our idol in terms of how a person should be dedicated to the cause. Thank you.
When Sushil says age doesn't matter, it's a number, I say it's a double-digit number.
Thank you. So Sarika will be coming later. Dr. Raj, please.
Dr. Raj Shah, I'm an honorary IITian. I'm not an IIT graduate, but I could have been IIT graduate. I'm a cardiologist, Medical College of Baroda graduate, long time ago, 1968, and have been practicing cardiology for the last 50 years in Northeast Philadelphia, in Yardley area, still practicing. And my primary commitment is to Wheels. I'm the chairman of the Health Council and on the board, and passion for technology to use for healthcare delivery, which has been my passion and driving me for the last 30 years since the first PC came in 1977. Thank you.
Thank you. Another Wheels pillars in terms of our health portfolio.
Bindu Kansapada, I'm a cardiologist, his partner and his nephew, a graduate of Mumbai Medical, TNMC, 79, very active with Wheels, and he has assigned me to look after mental health and connections. I still have active license for Maharashtra and visit 3 to 6 months a year. I retired, unlike him. And my passion is just social work. I'm very active with organized medicine, with AMA, Pennsylvania Medical Society, Bucks County Society, and politically in Governor's Council, Senate Council. And I enjoy working under his leadership with the rest of these guys to pay back our debt to India, because both of us studied free, paid taxpayers' money and our time to give back to our country, great country of India. So anything we can do for uplifting India, and his passion is rural health and pioneering digital technologies. I'm glad to support anything what he does and follow his wisdom or command. Thank you.
Thank you. Gaurav?
Hi, so I'm the founder for My Physician Plan, which is an alternative solution for healthcare. I'm IIT Kanpur graduate 2002. In terms of giving back, I actually also serve on the board of a non-profit based on mental health in California.
Thank you. Thank you. Please.
Oh, me? Okay,
Yes.
yes. Hello, everyone. My name is Pankaj Nigam, IIT Delhi 1990 Chemical Engineering. And my profession just kind of took me all over the world. So I lived in Japan, Western Europe, Latin America, and of course not here. My passion is innovation, and that's what I spent most of my career in, is in innovation. New ideas, bringing new ideas to life for the improvement of lives of the consumers, or any dedicated cause. In terms of social impact, while I haven't had the fortune of being associated with Wheels, but my family, we were very deeply involved with Veterans Affairs Organization, helping them, especially through the COVID times. So that's a kind of a highlight of a social activity. We continue to support many activities for education of kids in the Hindu Samaj Mandir in Mahaba, which is really the northernmost part of New Jersey, which is very close to our house. So that's a little bit about myself. Good. Nice meeting you.
Thanks, Gaurav.
My name is Kicha Ganapati, and he just talked about my start with IIT Bombay and Kanpur. I have a PhD from Stanford in AI and robotics. I've been very fortunate to have been at, I would say, some of the most premier institutions with technology, Bell Labs, University of Michigan, and so on and so forth. So I dabble in a lot of technologies. And that's what my interest in Wheels is, that is looking at how IIT technologies can be engineered or can be used for rural India, if you will. That's a strong interest of mine. I dabble in things. I don't have any official capacity in Wheels. I run a small company in color management, and if I get out of it, when I do, then I expect to devote my time for rural India. Meanwhile, I stay in as much contact as possible. That's what I do.
I'm Bhavani, 96 Bombay. I work at Regeneron right now in the business development. I'm a scientist by training, but scientist, business development. I've worked in a few different sort of impact fields. I spent about 6-7 years with Asha for Education. I don't know, some of you may be familiar with it. They do education of underprivileged sort of communities all across India. They have many different projects. So I worked with them for 6-7 years, 15 years ago. And then last 5 years ago, I took up a job with Clinton Health. This is a nonprofit.
Clinton Health Initiative?
Clinton Health Initiative, right.
Okay.
So they do access to medicines for low and middle income countries. So that took me to India. And so, I mean, besides that, I tried sort of my hands at healthcare related entrepreneurship in rural, urban rural kind of, setting. It didn't really work out, but, that's sort of my association. I'd still like to do that someday, but I'll have to figure out what's the right model for it that can make it sustainable. So,
Sure. And hopefully we'll hear some of that today.
okay.
Thank you.
Yes, sure.
Please, have a seat. Go ahead. You were just going to the introduction, so it's your turn.
Oh, my turn?
Yes. So basically, just the name and what you do currently, professionally, which IIT you went to, if you went to IIT, and then any social impact activity.
No, I'm not from IIT. Sushil is my mentor and guide.
Whichever graduate school.
I'm from Mumbai University.
Okay.
My full name is Vijay Chauhan. I'm a freelancer. I do the computer programming on the machine learning and data analytics. And in my free time, I try to find different avenues where I can be helpful, like teaching meditation, or be a part of a bigger cause for the where we see everyone is one.
Okay.
So I'm just here to meet people and contribute however I can.
Excellent. Thank you.
Vijay Dinanath Chauhan. No, the movie? Amitabh Bachchan. Oh my God. Vijay Dinanath Chauhan. What is that movie? I forgot the name. Agnipath. Yes.
Hi everyone,
Purana.
my name is Avtar Ganchu. I have a PhD from Institute of Chemical Technology. I am the founder of India Youth Fund in New York, and we are associated with Salam Bombay Foundation in Bombay, and we do a lot of fundraising here for underprivileged kids in Bombay, slum kids in Bombay. And Sushil and I have been associated. So what it has been a tug of war. I have been trying to get him into India Youth Fund, and he has been trying to get me into Wheels. But so far he has succeeded twice. I've been twice to his meetings, but he has never been once to my meeting.
So I'll drag him next time.
So that's a little bit I can tell you about me. Thank you.
I remember the word Ganju, 3 idiots. That's what is very bright people. Oh my
He's
God.
one of them.
His name was Ganju.
Yeah.
Hi everyone, I'm Dhairya Shah. I live in South Jersey. I went to Drexel University right here in Philadelphia. I'm part of the Shri Madhusudan Sai Global Humanitarian Mission, which is collaborating with the RaahFoundation. And what Shri Madhusudan Sai Global Humanitarian Mission does is that it gives free education, free healthcare, and free nutrition to underprivileged children. So far we have done 30,000 free pediatric cardiac surgeries in India and in Fiji and in Nigeria. In terms of nutrition, we are serving 9 million morning nutrition meals to underprivileged children in India. Every single school morning.
Every day.
Every single school morning, yes. So we are soon to reach a mark of 1 billion meals to be served to children. And in terms of education, we are giving free education to about 5,000 children. Most of them in India, but we also have children in Laos and also in Nigeria. And yeah, so in terms of free education, it is not just education which is free, but it is boarding, food, everything. Basically, you can just, the student can enter the school with just one pair of clothes and come out of it like after PhD if that's what the child wants to pursue. So everything is taken care of for the children, all the way from 6th standard to whatever studies they want to go, higher up studies. So that's why I'm there. I'm just representing my organization.
You need to mention, first in the world medical college, where they get, for the rural student, they get free education, free boarding from all throughout red school. Is it the commitment that
it's in, we are about 45 minutes away from Bangalore airport. We just had the world's first free medical college inaugurated last year by Prime Minister Modi ji. And so yeah, we have 50 students right now, and so the medical education is very commercialized, and a lot of poor students who are smart, they cannot get into medical field. So that's why we're trying to break that barrier, so that even the poorest of the poor kid who has the aptitude to become has the aptitude to become a doctor can actually become a doctor through our medical institution, because everything is free at the medical college as well. Absolutely not a single paisa charge. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Hi everyone, I'm Archana Sharma. So I live in northern New Jersey, and I like the energy of the mentors here for the Fields Foundation. I'm new to the organization. I'm just trying to understand your roadmap, how we are doing the work this year. So looking to contribute more in that space, and I did volunteer earlier for RaahFoundation and Akshay Patra and Sakhi, which was like many years ago. So I'm in the technology field in banking. So undergrad is from LIT, Nagpur, and master's in computer science from New York Institute of Technology. So looking forward to help out in whatever way I can.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Pawan. I'm a general pediatrician, KMC Mangalore, 2008, and currently just involved in a lot of New Jersey pediatric state programs like AAB and things like that.
Thank you. My husband. I'm Neha Bansali. I work with Bristol Myers Squibb. I do drugs pricing, MBA from Cornell, and I am a part of NOVA Foundation. We are partnered with Wheels, and we work in rural India on menstrual hygiene.
Thank you.
No, yes, Jawahar. Yeah, I work with them. Yeah.
Did you say menstrual hygiene?
Menstrual hygiene, yes.
Oh, you should talk, because
Yes.
I work for Edgewell Personal Care and also Procter & Gamble.
Oh,
Both
great.
of them producing products.
Oh, yeah,
So the
sure,
same
definitely.
Surya Kadmisek. I'm associate with IIT BHU for my master's and IIT Bombay for my PhD, 95 passed. I've been here ever since after my graduation, 95 onwards in New Jersey. So I got first attracted to Wheels when Tushilji gave me intro about the medical health in one of the IIT picnics, and I'm hooked onto it and I'm not able to get out of it, and I am part of virtual team which Ratan is trying to establish for building a NGO portal, and my additional objective is to pull the people, get introduced to Wheel, so that, which they don't know, like I don't know, so make it awareness among the friends and family, so that what is Wheels is doing, and at least like the concept of giving back is whatever we can. I pulled my colleague engineer today.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks.
Yeah, my name is Engineer. I'm from NIT Warangal, and he's my friend who introduced me to your organization. Basically, I'm here for the last 25 years, and in the technology field only. I'm working mostly with the companies, telecom and all those companies like Comcast and all that. And he introduced me about the good cause and the organization of Wheels, what they're trying to do, and then I'm so passionate about mixing with these alumni, especially from the premier institutes like you people come all from IIT. So I have a very different level of expectations and gratitude towards IIT. So unfortunately I couldn't get the seat. My dad ignored me after he said, "Oh, you're not fit." So that's where I went through some of the things, whatever good causes and what kind of activities that you people are all working towards. So I want to just contribute the way that work with him in a way, and then get it out, okay, how much I can contribute in whatever the good causes that you people are working on.
Excellent.
So that's the reason I know I want to engage in this moving forward.
Very nice. Thank you.
you.
And I think the last person, Sekhar, so he has probably gone out of the door to help out.
Yeah, come
Sekhar,
back
are you
into. No, it's not.
Okay. So let me mention that Sekhar will speak later on also. So Sekhar Somu. Sekhar is working in this IT company which hosts this building and hosting us today. And not only giving us all the pro bono services in terms of video, stories, giving us coverage via the YouTube channel which reached out to about 2 million people, particularly Indian diaspora. And also, Shekhar will later talk about their very good NGO called Ublood, coordinating across the blood donation centers. So thank you all coming. I think among the activities, many of you are involved. I heard about health and education, two things. So I'll particularly take a couple of examples in those two. Let me briefly introduce, my personal background, IIT Bombay, 1985 batch. And I have spent most of my corporate life starting with the software field, in between switched to the business track, MBA at Wharton School, and then a number of years in IIT Kearney, running a couple of startups, and then 16 years in Cisco, running a portion of their services business, as well as incubating few businesses in technology, IoT, cloud, managed services. And then last 7-8 years, pretty much in the impact space. Now Wheels is my more than full time, and thanks to Sushil, and like many of you. So let me give a brief history of Wheels. I think I think many of you have been part of your own IIT alumni associations. Like that, we have an Uber umbrella association, Pan IIT. Pan IIT holds its annual get-togethers back in 2006 when we had our worldwide Pan IIT Global meeting. The keynote speaker, Abdul Kalam at the time, our ex-president, he really asked a fundamental question that you are all from our premier institutions. You have been very successful professionally and financially. But the question, more important question is, what have you done for your communities? And even more important, who is going to solve the rural Indian problems, if not you? And that really led to the inspiration for the senior alumni leaders to come together and set up Wheels Global Foundation as a means to take the collective capacity of our 500,000 alumni community. Roughly starting with our original 5 IITs and now 23 IITs in the system, we have more than 500,000 alumni worldwide. We have about 80,000 in US, another 350,000 in India, and then another distribution in Middle East, Africa, and Europe. But that collective alumni community with people in literally in hundreds in CXO layer with the 30-35 years of professional experience, the technology depth and breadth have a lot to offer. And the idea was to create this foundation as a means to channelize that collective capacity of knowledge, innovation, network, financial resources to make a difference in India, to give back. So that was the inspiration behind Wheels. We decided to choose a vision which will be worthy of the IIT brand. And I think some of you talked about that brand. That brand stands also for a set of expectations. We are the premier institutions. Somebody the other day was telling me that more than 17% of India's education budget goes to IITs. And that comes with the expectations of the country in terms of the investment. So if we want to be involved, we want to make sure we are standing for something equally grand. So we have set out a mission of at least impacting 20% of India's rural and surrounding population by 2030. And the numbers are huge, 180 million, but as we go through some of the examples, it is very much within our reach. We should be able to do a lot more. And so that is the goal we are setting for ourselves. I will talk about our model briefly in a few minutes. So we focus on the 6 areas. So the word Wheels is a nice acronym for 6 areas of focus: water, health, education, energy, livelihood, and sustainability. If you put it all together, these are pretty much cover 70-80% of UN SDG goals. And another reason for us to choose these 6 domains is because you really can't focus on health problem without focusing on the education, without focusing on water, or vice versa. All these areas are highly intertwined, even not just in a single country. These problems are intertwined globally. And that is another reason why we have our scope as global, because what we find a good solution in India is very much applicable to US, and I'll share a couple of examples. And of course, vice versa. The technologies we find here have applicability to India. So that is essentially our global scope. Naturally, given our heritage, coming from India, our 80-90% of the activity today is in India, and we are doing a number of projects in US. I will share those examples. It's essentially, other reason for us to create this platform, because many of us as we come in our life's journey in the 40s and 50s and 60s, the question comes back. Yes, the financial and professional checklist has been more or less taken care of. What are we doing to give back? And often that intent doesn't convert into actions because it is hard to find the right entity. It is hard to find the right cause and then get assurance that your funding, your efforts are going to the right results. It is being used properly. So that worry, that extra effort which requires for curation, it results into most people having the intent but not really translating that into a meaningful action. So the goal is for this platform, our collective platform, this Wheels Global Foundation, as a means to make it easy for average alumni to be involved in the giving back. And we'll talk about what that giving back could mean. The other thing, as I mentioned, the idea is to channelize the collective capacity of that 500,000. If you add up the numbers in any way, that is massive capacity for us to make a difference. And then finally, in terms of how we are participating, it is really about taking our two main value propositions. We all come from the technology institution. That is our common DNA. But also along with that, the 25, 30 years of working in the business environment, it exposes us to day in and day out solve the complex business problems. Most social impact entities, the biggest thing they need, yes, of course, you need the funding to carry out any activity that is necessary to acquire resources. But more than the funding, often the social impact entities need expertise to help scale their work from few thousand to millions of beneficiaries. We all know in the business world, it is one thing to solve the problem for 1,000 people. But if you want to go from 1,000 to 1 million, then it is a scaling problem. That scaling problem cannot be solved without application of technology, innovation, and entrepreneurial frameworks. And those are the attributes which we can bring to the table. So that is our main differentiators. Those are the main areas for us to apply. So in terms of the organization, we are set up as all volunteer team. This is a group of volunteers who feel that moral obligation, that social obligation to give back. We have all benefited, I would say easily, we have benefited from an education which would be worth 500,000. If you were to pay full tuition today, that 4 years or 5-year degree will easily cost 500,000 today. You do the numbers, even if you take 5% or 6% interest rate, you can do the math in terms of the natural obligation that free education, that investment by taxpayer dollars means in terms of the minimum obligation for us to give back. And that is the motivational force behind this group of the organization's chart you are seeing. So we are right now, we are set up, first our biggest cheerleaders are our trustees. Those trustees make annual commitment of a sizable financial contribution, as well as they bring many, many resources to our cause, our work. Then we have a board of directors, which not only again make a financial commitment, but they also take leadership roles in giving their time. So we have a board in US of about 14 people, similar board in India, and each of these board members, besides financial contribution, they also take leadership roles in chairing a council, vertical domain, or they chair a committee, or they chair a chapter. So we have like Dr. Raah chairing our health council. So like that we have board members, and then we have the actual initiatives gets done through our councils. So each domain we have a council which brings together subject matter experts in their domains. For example, in the health we have nearly 67 physicians coming from all domains of expertise. We have in energy world-class experts in storage, in solar, in hydrogen, in renewable energy. We have in education and water similar expert who are coming from all walks of life. Generally, we have a split of, I would say, 75-25, 75% of our leadership team, as well as our extended members are IIT alumni. But equally important, 25% are non-IIT alumni, because it is really about impact. people who believe in the same vision are people coming together. So this is important. You see lots of logos here. It is by design because, as I said, our wheels is a means to channelize the capacity of 500,000 alumni. As you know, those alumni are typically in the day job. So they will not be able to go in the field and do hands-on work. So the model is indirect model. We identify promising social impact entities which have already shown powerful results. But their work can be scaled leveraging the two attributes I talked about to millions of beneficiaries. So one of the criteria we use is entities whose work we can see a scaling runway from 5 to 50 million beneficiaries. So each of these entities, many of them are coming through our alumni's work. The great example, as Neha mentioned in her introduction, NOVA, is a great example of a IIT alumni-driven work. NOVA was created by one BHU IIT graduate, Om Prakash Chaudhary, who was completely driven by one girl coming to him for help in the sanitary pads. And that conversation led to him dedicating his life now to solve the problem for 46 million girls and women who do not have access to affordable and quality sanitary pads. So that's a great example of a partner. Each of these entities are doing amazing work, whether mental health, whether livelihoods, whether water restoration of the bodies. So like that, we are already working with nearly 90 entities. And there's another reason for us to build this extensive partnership is we becoming that focal point to enable their work to be replicated. Because what you will find again and again, amazing work by many entities, doing a work in Maharashtra or Punjab or Assam, their work is not visible to the rest of the country. And that creates a problem and that creates an opportunity. What if we can have their work visible to another 1,000 entities who are working in the similar domains? What if their work can be multiplied by those 1,000 entities? You can imagine the ROI and multiplier effect. That is the role we are taking up, because that role will also allow us to make sure all the innovation being developed by our IIT system, it can find implementation pathways. Today, most of that innovation from our IIT system is ending up as shelfware. Because a professor or a researcher cannot go in the field and devote his life for 5 months, 6 months, 2 years, 3 years it takes to convert a concept into an implementable program. In absence of that, they most of the time end up as shelfware. So that is the second problem we are fixing by creating a investment into impact collaboration platform. So briefly, I'll just show a quick list of some of the actively supported initiatives we have in all of those 6 domains. In water, we have been working with Himachal Pradesh government to help underground aquifers to be rehabilitated. Himachal Pradesh, being a Himalayan state, the last state you would expect water problem to be there. However, with the 50 years of neglect of the catchment areas, the underground water bodies are no longer being replenished because the water simply washes away. It no longer goes through natural channels because of the neglect of those catchment areas. So we work with Himachal Pradesh government to leveraging our innovation from IIT Roorkee in fluid dynamics, bringing together 2 private entities who brought satellite data mapping as well as terrain mapping technologies to put together a technology solution, and then work with the HP government to leverage their people resources across 6 ministries and their funding to actually implement the program. So in the process, we brought the technologies together. We leverage 1,000 times more resources from the HP government to provide a solution which has far more accuracy and far more durability, and bringing the unit cost of an aquifer from 10 lakh rupees to about 1 lakh rupee. That solution is now in the second phase, from starting from the 10 aquifers to now about 500 aquifers. In phase 3, it will be taken to entire state of HP. By that time, it would have impacted 6 million lives, creating a long-lasting solution for water, for agriculture, for irrigation, for drinking in the state. And the way we went about that model is highly replicable to another 7-8 states in the northern region: Uttarakhand, Sikkim, Ladakh, Jammu Kashmir, upper parts of UP, West Bengal. and northeastern part. So this is how we go about bringing our technology expertise, power of our network to be introduced to a variety of innovations, leveraging innovation from our IIT system to put together a solution and then work in the public-private partnership to leverage larger resources available. We have taken that success, now applied to another project in IDA, where Yamuna Expressway Industrial Development Authority, which is responsible for building the new airport infrastructure in the National Capital Region. Because of that new airport infrastructure, nearly 27 villages have to be rehabilitated. To rehabilitate these villages, you need to provide them all the basic necessities like water, sanitation, education, livelihood, health, energy. That kind of capacity government does not have it. They may have a policy, they may have the funds, but they do not have all the resources to rehabilitate these populations. So they requested us to take our learning from the HP project in terms of how we bring together the public-private entities and expertise and bring together the new partners who have expertise in the areas and together with government help them rehabilitate at a much more efficient manner. So we have brought two partners, Amrita Foundation and ATE Chandra Foundation, to help rehabilitated water bodies first. Now we are helping them in the education and livelihood. Similarly, in the individual farmers, we have nearly 50 million farmers with bore wells today. They depend upon their water supply from these bore wells. However, bore wells, the water table is going down and down and down to now average bore well, you do not find water even at 1,000 feet. These farmers cannot recharge on their own. And typical water harvesting using the pond approach takes time and also costly. So we have taken a technology called bore charger to be able to recharge these bore wells using the nature's phenomena of water being stored and the water being channeled to these bore wells through an opening at the right level in the bore well. Then in the health, we have multiple solutions. One of our lead solutions has been rural telemedicine centers designed by Dr. Raah in terms of the telemedicine software as well as the network diagnostic devices to enable doctors to provide quality health care without the patient having to travel 20-30 kilometers. That solution we launched in COVID time with 320 centers, and now we are expanding that solution to cover many more locations through partnership with Sai Madhusudan Group, Six Sigma Healthcare, Samita Foundation, multiple partners, so that way we can cover much wider geography and have more self-sustainable solutions. In the healthcare, we have another solution besides the sanitary pad solution I talked about, mental health solution for both college and high school as well as adult population. Similarly, in the health, another solution I will put a little bit more time today is to solve the problem for the newborn nutritional health, which is a pervasive problem across the entire country. So I'm going to come back to that in a few minutes. In the sanitary pads, further we are driving the innovation because not only we needed to solve the problem of affordable and quality sanitary pads, but also given the sheer number, we also need to solve the problem of sustainability to make sure these don't continue to contribute to the trash dumps. So we have brought together multiple innovators from IIT system to replace the plastics with the banana fiber, which will solve the problem of environmental sustainability, but also has a chance to eliminate India's massive import bill. Because today the wooden pulp is mostly imported from USA and China, and that costs India billions of dollars. So again, the innovation making a huge difference from our IIT alumni network. In energy, we have a cold storage solution for farmers. As some of you may know, nearly 80% of India's fresh produce, fresh fruits and vegetables are produced by farmers with less than 2 acres of land. With that kind of land holding, they do not have enough sales volume to afford a cold storage freezer. That means nearly 30-35% of daily produce is wasted. Any unsold inventory, nobody is going to buy it next day. That wastage is massive when you imagine 80% market share of from these farmers. So we have another solution from young IIT graduates coming from those farmer families, devoting their 3 years of time to do R&D and now come up with this product called RuCard, which uses the material science knowledge. In between the 7 metal layers, the water is poured. The combination of water and the metal properties, it maintains the ambient temperature to be 5 to 15 degrees centigrade, which means the fresh produce stored in the box can have life of another week to eliminate that wastage. Very simple solution, can have massive implications for 15 million farmers. Similarly, we have another NGO partner, Gram Samriddhi Abhiyan, have done amazing job in a simple way, biogas plants, which now they have brought the cost down from 40,000 rupees to 20,000 rupees by working with central government to tap into Ministry of Natural Resources, the renewable energy for 50% subsidy. So not only they have come up with a design which is now can last for 15 years, but also brought the cost down to 15,000 rupees, 20,000 rupees, where the average farmer with only 2 cattle can eliminate their burning wood or eliminate RMG. You can imagine the environmental impact besides the economic benefit. Highly replicable solution. How many farmers have 2 cattle? Most of them, right? Simple solution. Similarly, in education, we have number of solutions. We have our flagship solution is spoken tutorials. In India, as we take the country to digital economy, we have 67% of youth in rural India. That 67% of workforce has to be enabled with IT skills if the country has to transition to digital economy. What does that mean? You have to train nearly 200 million job market bound youth with IT skills. How do you do that? You will never have enough money for coaching classes. You will never have enough tutors. Can't solve the problem. We tapped into IIT Bombay innovation called Spoken Tutorial, which provides self-learning model, taking the learnings from the movie industry, where a director converts a story by breaking into the modules, shooting it, doing the retakes multiple times to have a finished product, which never have to be explained by the director on the stage. No Q&A, right? That movie can be understood by a construction worker to a Nobel or laureate without anybody doing a Q&A. Why? Because it has been engineered to be self-learning, right? Same thing we can do in the IT skills. So the Spoken Tutorial program has developed these self-learning modules which allows a learner to learn any topic from basic introduction to advanced C++ programming. Through these self-learning modules, review the 10-minute tutorial and practice. Go to the next module, practice, without ever having to ask a question of a tutor. Once these have been developed, it's an infinite scale. They can be taken to 1 million, they can be taken to 1 billion. Literally, that is the opportunity scale. So that program has been taken to 7 million learners. The kids from the rural colleges have been able to get jobs in Amazon, Accenture, Adobe in India. And now we are taking that program to US, 4 segments in US because they have similar characteristics. Prisoners, where 30% of prisoners have middle school or high school or higher level education. Their lives can be rehabilitated with the IT skills. Rather than coming back, trying to get a McDonald's job and ending up back in the prison with a 67% recidivism rate. They can break that cycle. Similarly, we are working with homeless. We are looking at working with the inner city youth. And then lastly, war veterans. All these 4 segments have same problem dynamics. So that program, we are now further expanding to many other networks through the partnerships. In education, we have another program which is perfect for US. Program called Rural Shores, People Shores. Rural Shores is essentially a model where we create IT delivery centers in tier 3, tier 4 towns where the college youth do not have any job prospects. They are forced to migrate to larger cities. So rather than having them go to the larger cities, what if we create a IT delivery center where 200, 300 youth can be trained for IT skills as well as for the business skills. And that delivery center then become an outsourcing center where we can provide ISO quality services to corporate customers, things like help desk, customer service, application support, application data entry. The corporations benefit because if you create a delivery center in tier 3, tier 4 village or town, your cost structure is much lower. So corporate customer get ISO quality job plus services at a much lower cost. Great win. Besides getting the CSR benefits, impact benefits, branding benefits. The community benefit, if you create 300 jobs in a community of 4,000, you can imagine the magnet it becomes for the community transformation. So it's a great win-win, not a philanthropic, perfectly revenue supported model. So after success in India in 13 centers, that approach had been taken to US under People Shore brand, and we have 5 centers in US, Clarksdale, Mississippi, Pine Bluffs in Arkansas, Brooklyn in New York, not too far from here, and then San Jose, California, and then lastly Decatur, Georgia, and now I think one more Tampa,
Florida.
And that is the partnership we have with, again, this is again a partnership. The partnership we have with the Madhusudan Sai's family of foundations. One IIT Madras alumni, Murali Bulaganti, had been leading this charter. Then in the livelihoods, we have another Wheels partner, another Wheels peer group of entities. PARFI, Pan IIT Reach for India, has done vocational training centers in Ranchi focused on the tribal high school girls, getting 1-year programs in nursing, manufacturing skills, and culinary skills. Right away they get absorbed in the corporate jobs. Similarly, we have integrated a smart village solution in Rauli, social business entrepreneurship model to help rural talent convert their village crafts into successful entrepreneurs, successful businesses. And then lastly, in sustainability, simple program of smart tree plantation taking contributions from IIT Kharagpur, looking at the soil properties, the rainfall patterns, and the climate data to identify 15 trees which can have huge cash value for the farmers. So in West Bengal, this has been able to triple the farmer income from 50,000 rupees per month per year to 1.5 lakh rupees. Besides the environmental benefit where these trees last for 15 years, like almond, like cashew nuts, etc. Again, a simple solution which can be replicated all over the India. If somebody has done it in West Bengal, you can do it in Assam, or you can do it in Rajasthan or Maharashtra. So this is the very quick cross section of solutions. So let me just share one more example which we talked about in Sushil's email about this solution for newborn nutritional health. So this is a solution which is really addressing a very interesting problem. So we heard about our Annapurna Foundation program for kids, where kids in the primary schools get nutritious meals. Massive need, because how many kids otherwise will not go to school? Because of these nutritious meals, kids get that additional attraction. The parents, it makes it easy for the parents to send the kids to school. At least they will get the nutritional benefit, right? However, that kind of program catches up when they are in the primary school. The problems also start much sooner. In India today, in the rural and tribal areas, the malnutrition rate is alarming. If you look at 3 categories, the kids who are underweight, the next severe category, kids who are stunted, and then the kids who are wasted, the extreme category. Those 3 categories together, more than 76% kids are in one of those 3 categories in the rural and tribal India. That's an alarming number. One of our Health Council member, Dr. Rupal Dalal, she discovered from working in the Bombay slums, the root cause of the problem was not what people assumed. It was not because the mothers were anemic or mothers were poor health, but because only 28% of mother's milk was going to babies, available milk. That is a massive gap, but it also is an opportunity, because that is because of poor breastfeeding technique. Because of the poor breastfeeding technique, only 28% of the available supply of the milk going to the babies. So after that discovery, we focused on this training issue, this communication issue, this learning issue. So we are using again our IIT Bombay's innovation I talked about, spoken tutorial, which allows learning a new skill through the self-learning program. So we have created now series of spoken tutorials. We call them health spoken tutorial, about 93 of them, which allows mothers and health workers to learn proper breastfeeding techniques. So after success in 6 districts, starting with Nandurbar in Maharashtra, and then Nasik, Vasi and Thane, and then Banaskantha in Gujarat, and then finally Jashpur, Chhattisgarh, we decided to take the program at a much higher level. So now we are working with the entire state of Madhya Pradesh, where the program will be touching entire health infrastructure from chief medical officers to pediatricians to nurses to ASHA and Anganwadi workers who then work with the mothers. So that program, combination of our spoken tutorial innovation combined with the train the trainer model, supported by a custom built software called QdWell, we will be touching at least 10 million lives. And when you think about the pervasiveness of the problem, the poor breastfeeding technique, it is an issue in every part of the India, every state. If we take that program alone to all the 29 states, we would be touching at least 100 million lives. I talked about our goal being touching 20% of India, 180 million lives. Guess what? One program alone can do that. Like that, we have multiple exciting innovations. I'll just share one more. We, before our Penn IIT conference in Washington, DC, I think many of you attended in January, mid-January, we had a Impact Innovation Challenge to coincide with that conference to see how many alumni are involved in the impact activities. In a short span of 3 weeks, we got 35 applications. These 35 applications came from all spectrum of life, from civic work, education work, health work, water work, both in India as well as in the US. Many of these innovations just amazingly compelling work. I will share just one example. In education, one of our IIT Kharagpur alumni, Arvind Thanvi, he left his Accenture job on the track to be partner and focused his attention on the education problem. In India, nearly 80% of schools, primary, middle and secondary, have this chronic problem of understaffing of the teachers. You may have grade 1 through 8, you may have only 2 teachers. And even when you have some teachers, often these teachers have not really joined the job because they are good teachers, but because it's a lifetime security in a state government job. So you have a severe teacher staffing issue. Further, most students, they never learn the public speaking skills. In US, you go to grade 1, you are asked to present in the class your project work. It creates that communications, strong public speaking skills. Doesn't happen in India, especially when you have only 2 or 3 teachers. Never happens. Arvind solved the problem by creating this school in a box innovation. 2 simple innovation, one technology and one operational innovation. On technology front, besides digitizing all the academic content, he invested in a repository of quizzes. So these quizzes become forcing function to help students self-learn. Because when you try to do the quiz, if you haven't had the teacher explain the topic, you will do it wrong. But then automatically it will take you to the right content to review and then re-answer the quiz. And that opens a process for the student to self-learn, leveraging all that digitized, dynamically accessible material. In addition to that academic material digitized, he had augmented with Khan Academy and many open sources from Ohio, from MIT, MIT and a couple of other universities. Further, he had added the extracurricular modules like robotics, tinkering, science and craft, coding. So these 6-7 extra modules enable the student to get holistic education. How much is the investment? Very little. After one-time investment in the digitization of the quizzes and extra modules, ongoing investment is very, very little. Second innovation, operational innovation, when they onboard a school, they get the 20 kids in the room, they appoint one student as a monitor, and then the monitor and the kids engage in the discussion why one answer was right and why other answers were wrong. That opens a dialogue among the students. The debate opens their communication skills. Very simple innovation. How many schools can benefit from this? I can't see any school which will not benefit. 3 million schools can benefit in the country. So this is how we can take the innovation from many alumni involved in the alumni work, how all of us can contribute. This Moini work school in a box cannot go to all those 3 million schools. It will take him billions of dollars to bring the market awareness. However, if our alumni can take this solution, these 500,000 alumni, if they can take it to 5 schools, 500,000 times 5, 2.5 million schools will be covered. This is the power of the alumni network. We have many of our alumni as district collectors. We have many of our alumni in education secretary. Guess what? They can support implementation in the district or in the entire state. This is the power of the network. This is how we are leveraging our unique position of a large alumni network to be able to take many of these solutions from few hundred schools, 2,000 beneficiaries to millions of beneficiaries. So this is the scenario which I expect to repeat because we have huge capacity available. So this is the model. I will just leave it the last piece in terms of, I know many of you asked the question, how can you be part of this journey? To me, the obligation to give back is everybody's obligation. We all have benefited. We have benefited from the IIT education or any other college, medical college or engineering college, a similar scenario. We have benefited from help from our communities, from our parents, from our friends. After 20, 30 years, it's time to pay back that debt. You can be part of the journey in many ways. As I explained in our organization chart, we have trust at that level. You can be part of the board. You can be involved in any of the domains, whether health domain or water domain. You can be mentor to existing an NGO. You can take any of our solutions and take it to your community. Every solution we have chosen, it has been also chosen because it is applicable to every corner of India. So that way, any alumni, any member can take that particular solution and leave a legacy in their hometown. You can choose a solution which appeals to your domain, whether you are interested in health or education or water or environment or sustainability. We have the 15 I showed, 15 is just a small sample. Our alumni are creating hundreds of solutions.